when it comes to China,
Yeah.
The left can be a little divided on that topic, because there's
Very true.
There's people on the left that are pro fucking China, that are like, yo, we should be supporting China as the new world leader instead of America. I would say that they both suck in their own ways.
Oh yeah.
But are you guys more leaning anti-China? Like, how do you guys feel about the country?
Go ahead, TJ.
Well, I've been to China. I was there for a while,
Wow.
and so I can, as the resident Chinese expert here, speak. So when it comes to China, I mean, it depends on what you mean by am I pro China or not, because like there's a ton of things to criticize China for.
Okay, I'll put it this way: if you were to say that China is about as bad as America, or would you say China is worse than America?
I'd say about as bad. I definitely say about as bad. The only difference is that the Chinese government, they focus their like human rights violation within the borders of China, specifically Western China. You guys know what I'm talking about. The United States does that as well, like with the Black community and Latino community and immigrants and everything. But we also export it all around the globe. We force countries to capitulate to our will at the barrel of a gun. We've been toppling democratically elected leaders for a good 150 years now.
Literally.
So yeah. So I mean, honestly, if anything, I lean more toward America has done more damage. Like, how many wars has China started in the last 30 years? Like please tell me. I'd love to see the list and compare it to the list the United States has. But as far as so I just talking about, John, where some people there's these Sinophiles where they think that, oh man, if only China was the global superpower, things would be great. No, it'd probably be pretty similar. There's no reason to believe they would act any differently or radically differently than us.
It would shift the numbers around, but it wouldn't really change anything.
Yeah, like they're exploiting the people in Afghanistan to get what is it, lithium? It's not lithium, whatever they're getting out of there, poppy and stuff. Like, they do the same shit we do. But I think that what I would say, like, my ideal situation is similar to what we have now, almost exactly the same, is that we don't have a monopolar power structure on planet Earth, that we have two countries that are insanely big and insanely powerful that desperately need each other. And this is why, so you talk to conservatives, like, this happens all the time. It gets so frustrating. But, when you talk to conservatives, you have to talk to them like they're 10-year-olds. You have no choice. And I find this out when they talk about China, because they will swear up and down that any day now, the Chinese Communist Party is gonna, raise up their military. I know, and come after and come after the United States. Like, people, that is not going to happen, because China is an export economy and we are an import economy, and we rely economically on each other. If the United States went through a major war with the country that we buy our supplies from, it hurts both countries. There is no benefit to anyone, to the United States and China fighting amongst themselves, and not just us. It actually has like a domino effect to other countries that depend on us for goods and services as well, or China goods. So yeah, that's not going to happen. Nixon establishing good economic relationships with China was one of the best things he ever did, because it stopped this situation like we have with Russia. Like, we have this like really bitter relationship with Russia, but we can, because what the fuck we care about Russia? Like, what are we getting out of there? I don't know, salad dressing. But it's like but for China, on the other hand, like, we absolutely need them and they absolutely need us. And it's also, people talk about how China, I can't remember how much of our national debt China has, and like, what if the Chinese recall that debt? All right, that's not how national debt works. First off, it's like, okay, the bill's due, you got to pay it now, otherwise we're going to send the military. But the fact that China is that China is a creditor nation to us, that gives them an even greater incentive to make sure we're a stable country so they can get their money back. So that's my answer on this, is that I think that, something close to what we have. Maybe China could be a bit stronger because we are, the senior partner in this. But I'm not scared of China, sending a nuke to Sacramento or something like that. I think that's absurd.
Why it's in my city?
Oh, I know.
I'm like, you picking me out.
It was a wild pool for a city. Like, you can pick any city, you pick Sacramento.
That was a dart in the target right there.
Chancellor Xi Jinping, I have the coordinates.
I'm sending him to the call right now.
He's 6'10". You cannot miss him.
Literally.
Are you really 6'10"?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
But to answer your question, John, I'm kind of in the same camp as TJ. It's like I'm not pro China, but I'm also not like, oh, China is the boogeyman. I understand that being in the United States of America, we're probably going to have a biased perspective on what China is doing. I would say that my mind is pretty open to the idea of China doing some good things, but also like they're still going to trade wars against America. There's like a battle being fought here. They're not going to be the good guys either. But I want to look past China. I want to look past America to create a world that is like past all that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. It's not. Everything's not black and white. They're not the good guys. We're the bad guys. Yada yada yada. It's just like it's all nuanced. So
I feel like there is this sentiment in America where like people crave the Cold War. Like, the Cold War was before me, but like when I learn about like the Cuban Missile Crisis, I go, oh shit. That sucks. I'm glad I'm not living during that time because that seemed really, really bad for the entire world. And it feels like that should be clear and obvious to everyone. But I feel like there's this sentiment out there that we need some rival to push us farther. And it's like, nah, that's dumb. We can just work with them and build shit. Like that's how humans work. We get more done together. And I think it goes to what TJ was saying. It's just like, like just having China in front of a person, like a Chinese person, we think differently about them. The average American doesn't think that they're equal to them, that they're an equal human being. And they'll say all humans are born equal, but when you really fucking press them to it, no, they don't think Chinese people deserve the same rights. They don't think they have the same right to freedom of speech as we do. Yeah. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, it's an outgrowth of the national identity that we crafted for ourselves after World War II. Because after World War II, we were the last superpower standing, like far and away. We were, Smitty, Werber, Jaegerman, Jensen. We were number one, and no one could possibly deny it. And so we then aimed our sights on the Soviet Union because, we worked with the communists to defeat the Nazis. But we're like, okay, now you guys are up next.
Y'all got nukes too? I heard y'all got nukes coming too. Oh yeah, let's get our nukes going.
We really wanted to side with the fascists. We really, really wanted to side with the fascists.
You know how hard the decision was to pick between communists and Nazis in the United States? Like, oh man,
we sat out of it for so long.
Yeah,
we're just like, well, we're just gonna see who wins this one.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and so I think John and I talked about this a long time ago. Is that the Cold War went from what like the Korean War in the 50s to I think the George Bush Senior administration when the Berlin Wall collapsed and everything, and the United States military, like, first off, that was American culture. We were capitalists. They were communists. They were the evil empire. That defined who we were, for decades. And we got used to this idea of America as, this knight in shining armor. And we defeated these dragons. We defeated the Nazis. And then we defeated the Soviets. We defeated these huge, powerful enemies, like worthy opponents. And after that, there were no more dragons left. Like they're gone. Like now it's just us. It's just just a knight standing in a field, tending to his horse, whatever. And it's boring as fuck. This guy lives to fight. So after that, we're like, okay, well, there's no dragons left. We're going to attack a bunch of snakes now. Now we're going to go after, tiny terror cells or, tiny uprisings in Central America. And that's what we've kind of been rolling with. But now we finally got ourselves another dragon. Oh, thank God. Finally, we've been craving to decimate a dragon at some point. And Americans still yearn from that. And a lot of those people are still alive. Because John, you said you weren't alive for the Cold War. a lot of Americans remember it very, like, you don't got to be that old to remember like the Cold War. Like if you're 50, 60 years old, you grew up in like the depths of the Cold War. And the idea that there's another major communist country out there and they're technologically advanced and they got a lot of money. By the way, their population is 4 times as big as ours. That gets you rock fucking hard. You're like, oh, this is great. This is what we've been dreaming of. I can't wait to send my grandchildren to go fight them. Like that's they love this shit. So yeah, it's unfortunately part of like our militaristic identity. And this goes to like, worshiping the military as well. Oh, you boys are doing the best to make the world safe for democracy. Not democracy in the workplace. Fuck that. But you're doing your best out there. And so yeah, I think you're right, John. Like I would refer to this all the time during COVID that all right. Remember when COVID sprang out in Wuhan in China? And there was a talk that it came from a bat or the wet market in Wuhan. And then some people were saying, well, hey, there's a virology lab in Wuhan. Like maybe it came from there. And then people would twist it like, oh, well, what are you racist? Like, that's not an insane theory. Listen, like I'm telling you, like as far as like conspiracies go, that's not a wild one. That if a brand new virus no one has ever seen before came out of a town and that town had like a cave full of bats and a market where they sold meat and a goddamn virology lab, I know which one would be my first suspect. That doesn't make you a conspiracy theorist. But the problem was a lot of the people pushing that were just hungry for this neo-Cold War with China and not saying, oh, hey, perhaps the proper protocols weren't in place to make sure that novel viruses didn't escalate. No, the Chinese released this on purpose, like a virus that kills everyone. It's not like Chinese people were immune from it. Like, why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense. But you're right, John. Like people have been aching for this Cold War, and it's dark to see. But I think it'll die down as time goes on. When the boomers, die off or whatever, because like the younger generation doesn't really seem to care, at least not quite as much.
They want us to take the bait so bad, though. They want us to take the bait. I mean, with the Wuhan virus, you know what I mean? It's the what's happening in Taiwan as well. The fear mongering around, oh, they have a population that's so much bigger than us. You know what I mean? I think they want us to take that bait so we can just they want to see if we still got that military terrorism in us. And we're like, oh, they're hoping, oh, the youth will catch on. But it's like, it's not happening, guys. No. If anything, we're going the opposite way.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching the show today. If you made it this far into the show, you are our favorite viewer. Not anyone else that made it this far. The one that is listening to this right now, you're our favorite. So thank you very much. However, if you haven't liked and subscribed, you just lost that title. So do it to get it back. And then after you do that, make sure to check out our guest because he's pretty cool and he's going to tell you where you can find him.
All right, what's up, guys? Full-time streamer here, TikToker. You can find me anywhere, anytime at GoofyWise. Come check me out. Talk politics, talk anime, talk shows, talk movies. We're all about it.
Thanks a lot, man. GoofyWise is a great creator. I've been following him for a while. Fantastic content. I never had any beef with him until just now when he did the Gen Z heart because my hands are too old and decrepit to do that. So it bothers me.
Mine are barely making it there, goddamn.
Yeah, it's like I got this shit going on here.
How do you do
this one? And this, it's like a peace sign, but you just turn it into a heart.
No, it's like fire in my joint. Yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, all three of us. Please check out his content, and we appreciate you guys. Peace out.